Welcome to Unfuck Your Life and Relationships with Anita Astley, psychotherapist and author, and Ryan Rossman, recording studio owner and music producer. This is a podcast like no other. Sit forward, listen in, and get ready to get unfucked from the inside out. Unfuck your life! Unfuck your life!
Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Unfuck Your Life and Relationships. I'm your host, Anita Astley, and I'm here with Ryan at High Five Studios. And today, episode 3, we're going to talk about managing expectations around the holidays around gifts.
It's so much.
So much, right? We have so much to talk about. And at the end, of course, I will give you tips on how to unfuck all that shit. But yeah, there's so many, the number one complaint from couples around this time of the year and individuals also is, I don't know what to get my partner. And normally he or she says, it's okay, don't get me anything. And then after the holidays, it's a shit show because I hear about it in my office afterwards, how they didn't receive anything. And I'm like, okay, well, it's these passive-aggressive comments, as I'm sure that you know about.
Yeah.
And personally, I've experienced this myself. So let's share some of these stories. Ryan,
what a crazy, right? It's like, even myself, I'm like,
Yes.
I know I'm difficult to shop for. If I want something, I'm going to get it. Also, like, what kind of life I have, like, what are you going to buy me, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, I don't need anything. But then if you don't get something, you're like, but why didn't you even something little? So it's like, you can't set yourself up or set your partner up for failure like that, because that's not it. But I think at the end of the day, it's like, you want to make sure that whatever you're getting is just about the thought. It isn't how much money you're spending or some extravagant thing so much as, are you putting some effort into something?
Yeah, and it is about the thought, because often, I hear, well, this is so materialistic. It's such a materialistic holiday. Okay, there's a part of it that's materialistic. And let's not beat around the bush. Who doesn't like to get a gift? I like to get a gift. If I didn't get a gift, I'd probably, but I'm not unclear about my expectations. So the gift is really, as you're saying, when you give somebody a gift, you really need to think about that person. It's not about what you would like to get. So that's projecting.
Sure.
It's about what they would like to get. And part of that is showing that I've been paying attention to you all year round. I'm attuned to you, and I know what you like and don't like. And when you give something that's a gift and it represents that, I'm like, you were listening to me. You were paying attention to me.
Yeah.
So it's so much more than, she just wants this or he just wants this, and that's so
Right.
materialistic. It says that you're paying attention to your partner or your family, your friend, or whoever it is. Have you struggled, you and Amanda, have you struggled with this issue, or your ex-wife struggled with this issue?
Well, I mean, I love giving gifts.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, it's about managing the expectations of, like, I can't expect anything as far as, are you going to appreciate it enough, or anything it might be, because it's like, you didn't ask for diamond earrings or whatever it might be. You got to make sure that whoever you're giving the gift to, they're going to appreciate it, but you can't have an expectation of, like, how much they're going to appreciate it. But I've definitely had situations where people don't know what to get me, and I'm like, just don't. And I've felt sort of upset when I'm like, hey, why didn't you get me something?
Yeah.
But you can't say that. I mean, that's probably my biggest thing.
So what have you done about it?
It's about experiences now. I feel like can we just go to Chicago for 2 days, or let's plan a vacation or whatever it is. Don't spend money on me on something that I can either get for myself or maybe we don't need. Let's put a little bit of extra money aside to do, something a little more ridiculous for dinner or something, whatever it might be.
Fun.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Because I think that means more.
It does, and it builds emotional intimacy between that person and you. So guys, when you're thinking about gifts, because I know people struggle, like you're saying, what do we get Ryan? He freaking has everything. He's wearing red bottoms. He's dressed up in Burberry. I mean, seriously, I would not know what to buy. I'm like, anything I get him is going to be not in that league or that category. But that's the other issue. People are like, oh my God, I can't afford to buy this guy anything. He, dresses all up in this designer stuff, but that's not necessarily true, because we can have a budget reciprocity. If you were my partner, I'd say, okay, and if there was a discrepancy in the amount of money, you might make much more, I make more, and then I can't afford to, give you Burberry.
Yeah.
I would have a discussion with you to say, hey, I know you love all this stuff, but it was a hard year financially for me. I'm not going to be able to meet those expectations, but what else can we do together? But again, it would be having that conversation with you that's open and honest about my financial situation, which
Hmm.
people have difficulty talking about because they feel embarrassed or ashamed. But at the end of the day, at the end of the year, you don't want to end up with this credit card bill that you can't afford to pay.
Sure.
And then you resent your person because you're like, well, it's up here because I had to go out and buy this for you because you only like this kind of stuff. Not
Right.
necessarily true. Have realistic expectations of each other. But again, as I've said before in my previous podcast, and I continue to say that everything starts with an open and honest conversation about managing needs and expectations in the relationship. By the way, chapter 4 of my book, Unfuck Your Life in Relationships, you can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble. But it's in there. It's a big chapter. And one of the
Yeah.
major things I talk about is whether we're talking about gift giving, we just happen to be talking about that today because the holidays are just around the corner, needs and expectations. We have to manage them. So there's that realistic budget part because, not everybody can afford to spend whatever.
Yeah.
And there's limits. Like you might buy 10 and I've only got 2 for you. And then you might feel like, well, I spend more, but I only have 2. Set
Yeah.
the limit. Say it's okay. It's not
Right.
about that number, but for some it is because I hear that too. I only got 2.
No, for sure. And then it's like, oh, I spent this much money on you and you did that. I think that it's like you don't have to go crazy all the time.
No,
Like
you
it doesn't need to
don't.
be 2-carat diamond earrings every time
Oh
it's
my
Christmas or
God.
Valentine's
Did you buy that?
Day.
Did
Not
you buy
this year.
2-carat diamond
No.
earrings for Amanda? Lucky girl. Okay, guys, we're not suggesting that you break the bank and do that.
Yeah, this year, I'm not gonna say what the Christmas presents I got for her yet are obviously. But we went to brunch with Santa with the kids where you're gonna give this
Okay.
little gift. So I
Yeah.
was like, all right, I'm gonna give Amanda a little something first. She
It's very
doesn't like to
sweet.
spend money on herself for certain things, like going to the salon or getting a
Mhm.
facial, like getting her hair done. Like she came home with like a box of hair dye from Target. I'm like, come on. Like it's okay to get your hair
Yes.
done like that. So I got her $100 gift card to Neroli. I'm just like, just go do something.
But that's a great gift card
Yeah.
because you know what? You get to look at her with that beautiful hair. And it is
Sure.
a treat. A lot of
Yeah.
people have a hard time treating themselves.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of gift is perfect. It's an experience, but
Mhm.
yet they also have something that they're walking out with. Like
Yeah.
getting your hair done. Not everybody
Yeah.
wants to splurge or a massage. I
Right.
always say
Yeah.
a
Just
massage or a
yeah.
pedicure
And
or
self-care is so important.
it's
It's
very
like the
important.
analogy. It's like you can't take care of anyone else until you take care of yourself. When you're on an
Absolutely.
airplane, there's no oxygen. The masks come down. What
Yes.
do? You put yours on first, then you assist a child.
And those are great gifts because I'm
Yeah.
like that. I will not go for a massage usually. When I get a pedicure, I'm like, yeah, I do love pedicures. I will splurge on those. But
Yeah.
other things like a massage or a sauna day, I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't do
Or
that for
even the shampoo
myself.
and conditioner that are way more expensive than they should be. But man, it makes a difference.
That's on my list for sure because I'm not going
Yeah.
to spend $50 on a shampoo. But if you decided to buy it for me, I would
Sure.
be like, okay, this is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I like
will take
this
that
gift.
leave-in conditioner as well. It's like whatever.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
But I want to say that, this is a really important part of the holidays to practice in this ritual. And it is not that I'm being materialistic. Again, as I said before, it is about connecting and sharing with each other. And I cannot stand when I have couples who come in or I'm listening to stories in my friend group or neighbors. Oh, we don't give each other anything. But then I'm listening to them talking about how they give everybody else something, even the freaking bus driver and the postman. I'm like, wait a minute. So your partner is not even on the list? They're like, yeah, we have an agreement. We don't need anything. I'm like, that's so not fun. Like, seriously, it
Yeah.
is not about the stuff. Again, you can give each other a dinner, like a dinner date. You can
Right.
go for walks together, coupons that people do if
Yeah.
you're on a limited budget.
Sure.
But you know
Yeah,
what?
get creative.
Yeah, put yourself on the fucking list. I hate
Yeah.
that. I hope you don't do that.
No,
I've never
no.
done
And
that.
it could be $20. Like who cares?
Anything.
It could be a homemade, like, here's a coupon for like a free back massage. I mean, whatever.
cares?
Just like
Be on the list.
Yes, something that shows that you care, that you're putting time, effort, and thought into your partner. That's what's important because we need to feel that.
We need to feel that. And why is it that we make everybody else feel that except for our partner? And have that all the time. We're not on the list. We don't get each other anything. We get the kids stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so, guys, put your partner, that significant person in your life on your list. And when you're thinking about the gift, there's 5 rules I always talk about. Think about a want, a need, a wearing like, Ryan only wears Burberry and red bottoms. He's a hard one. Sorry, Amanda. Reading, something that you can read.
Yeah.
Or the last one, which is my favorite, is the experience. Splurge on a mutual experience. Like if you want to go to, I don't know, see a concert, but you don't necessarily can afford to buy 2 tickets, you can say together, hey, we're going to go in on this together. Let's buy, better seats, and we can afford that if we pool our money in together.
Yeah.
So gift giving doesn't have to be the stressful time or stressful experience, but around the holidays, especially Christmas, we're coming off of Thanksgiving where there is no pressure of that. We go right away into Christmas where it is, oh my God, I don't know what to get my partner. And of course, it depends, how long you've been with that person.
Sure.
If you are just dating, because people say, well, I'm just dating this girl. What am I supposed to get her? It's only been 2 months. I always say, well, 2 months, maybe $50. Is that too generous? I say 50.
50 seems good.
Yeah, I would say 50.
I'd say under 100. Like that's fair because you can go get some like nice jewelry that's like right around there. It doesn't take a lot of work, but it's always going to be like you're going to win with that.
I like the way you think. Jewelry, you've mentioned 2-carat diamonds. Yeah. Amanda, I'm getting jealous over here. She's not in studio today, but we're going to talk to her about this.
I think I like shopping for that stuff for her more than she even likes it.
No, but some men don't want to give jewelry, and I always find that. Well,
really?
Yeah, and women don't. I don't particularly like to buy my own jewelry, but I know in the past I have. I'm like, this is not right. It doesn't feel right. You should be getting jewelry from your man. Not that you can't buy for yourself, but something,
I think
from your man
that's one of those things that like you get as a gift.
Yes,
like
I agree with you.
And then you can get different sets and different things, and then it's like, oh, I'm wearing the earrings you got when we go out to dinner. And then it's like a thing too,
and then you
right?
can add to it, right? On her birthday or another year. And guys, men also like to get jewelry. I'm just saying, necklaces or bracelets. I know, the bracelets.
Watches are usually a great thing. Yeah, rings can be tough. Like, I usually don't wear a ring. Like, I come to work, I'm playing guitar, I'll set it down on an amp and then I'll lose it.
But I'm just saying, it might be something that you don't buy for yourself.
Absolutely.
Which has some sentimental value.
Yeah, and things that can be an every once in a while thing that'll go with something too. It's like, it's not a gift that will go out or it's used up right away or something like that too. I think that can be tough where it's like you don't want to get experience awesome because you're going to remember it forever.
Right. You have those memories. And you're building emotional intimacy. You're spending time together and memories. So, of course, it depends on how long you've been dating and how serious you are in the relationship. If you're not that serious, maybe I would say, do you really need to even give a gift? I don't know. Would you? So you're dating somebody for a month. What would you do? Dating somebody for a month and you're kind of like, I don't know if this is going, but Christmas is kind of coming up. Some people, I've heard of this, they actually will break up right before Christmas because they're like, no, I don't think this is going anywhere. I'm going to save myself some money.
Yeah, right before Valentine's Day.
Before those holidays.
That's, I think at least do a little something.
I would
if
do
you
a
don't
little
see
something. Don't be a cheap ass.
Yeah,
you can buy flowers for $25 or whatever.
Right.
So if you're not really sure, I say 25.
Okay.
That's my heart.
So you're putting a monetary value on how serious the relationship is.
Well, you have to.
Oh, almost.
You're definitely not buying Amanda a $25 gift. I know that.
No, yeah.
So we're looking at the duration because I have, people are dating and they're like, what do I do? It's Christmas time, but we've only been dating for 2 months, but I think I really am into her. That's $50. I'm putting a monetary value on it.
You don't want to overspend and scare your partner.
This is a red flag. I was just going to bring that up and you jumped to it. Oh. It is not cool, okay, if you're just kind of getting together and you spend a crazy amount on the person. It is a huge red flag. You brought it up. Why is it a red flag?
Well, I mean, you don't want to seem like you're coming on too strong. You're expecting too much out of a relationship. You're putting like pressure on where you are in that relationship. And then also an expectation like, well, I didn't get you anything like this.
No way.
And I think then you have like this whole weird thing. And then is the person going to feel weird about accepting the gift and
Yes.
wearing it or wanting it or whatever it might be
Right.
too. Yeah, that's tough. You got to be smart with.
And it's too desperate.
That's a really good
It's
point.
too desperate.
Yeah.
And if somebody did that with me, I'd be like, okay, it's too desperate. It's too soon. I love it.
Yeah.
But now do I have to get, yeah, thank you for the 2 carat diamonds. But do I have to reciprocate somehow?
Mhm.
And then what the hell's wrong with you that you would do this, right? This is a red flag for me for sure. So don't, even if you have the funds to do that and you're really into the person, if it's just early stages, don't go crazy and buy something extravagant like that because they will freak out because it's to me it's a desperation.
Yeah.
And you can't buy somebody's love if the relationship is going to evolve. It will over time. But again, I just want to point out that part of what you're saying is get to know the person. Evaluate the duration, evaluate where you think this is going. And then, I say 50, then I say 25, and then maybe nothing. But if it's a long-term relationship, I think you can invest a little bit once a year. It is the time of year to really show your partner some appreciation. And again, if you can afford to do it, great. But if you can't, there are other things you can do for your partner. In terms of let's have an experience, let's go for a walk. People don't, they don't think that's an experience, but it absolutely is. When do you get to take your partner out, hold their hand, and go for a walk? Because that's a very intimate experience that you can have.
No, or just saying, hey, we're gonna take the night off.
We're gonna take.
We're not gonna work this, whatever it might be, and just like show a little extra. To your partner, because I mean, I know with Amanda and I, like we're fighting, for each other's time a lot. Like
we're going to
really
watch a movie together. No kids. We're going to watch a movie,
right,
get
put
popcorn.
cell phones away, put whatever it might be.
I know you love wine, so get your favorite bottle of wine. And that's the gift of time. And it might sound corny, but the number one thing we suffer from in today's world is this disconnect from each other. And that's why I say the gift giving is important because it is a way of bringing us together again. And again, it is not about the value of the gift monetarily. Some people have the money, that's fantastic. They can do all that. But if you're on a tight budget, it's as easy as saying, I'm going to give you a coupon. And this coupon is we're going to watch our favorite movie together. We're going to buy a bottle of wine and get some junk food wherever, whatever you like. That's not too expensive. And that's what we're going to do. And most couples today, because they're busy being busy, don't take the time out to do that. There's always some excuse. So it's a Hallmark thing, right? Give the gift of time.
Sure.
I'm going to be corny. Give the gift of time. Now, let's talk about with families. We talked about the romantic relationships. We talked about early stages of dating and what to give. But within families, my family, we have a small family, so we gave to everyone in the family.
Mm-hmm.
But I know when you have a really large family, it's hard budget-wise to fit all of that in.
Yeah.
And you don't always know what to give. So I know a lot of families practice like picking a name.
Sure.
Or every year they rotate. What do you do in your family?
with my mom, her husband, sister, her husband. Yeah, we do a Secret Santa thing. It's easy because then you can really focus on like getting one nice thing.
One person.
Yeah. And then everybody gets something. Because if you're trying to get something for everybody, then I mean, what is it going to be like $10-15? Like, and then you're getting something that they don't even want or use. You're just basically wasting money anyway.
You are, and that'll go in the garbage.
Yeah, right.
After the holidays, it'll go in the
that
garbage.
they're never going to use, never going to open, never going to care about. Yeah.
Unless you get a Starbucks gift card. That's always good because that's always going to be used.
Yeah, I feel like, gift cards are not bad. Like,
awesome.
An Amazon gift card or to a place that someone wants.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, I'd much rather get a gift card than some nonsense that I'm not going to use or like go in the garbage, like you're saying.
Yeah, trinkets, right?
Yeah,
trinkets that'll go in the garbage. But also, I think it's important to know what I call is your circle of gift giving.
Okay.
Know what who's in that circle.
Yeah.
And in terms of your family, but even friends, because I'm sure you've had this experience where somebody gives you something, then you're like, we weren't expecting that.
Right.
And I know people say, well, that they're giving you from their heart. And yes, they are. But when I get something and I haven't given something to them or don't have anything, I'm like, shit, what do I have in my basement?
Yeah.
I do feel a sense of, I need to give something back. So, and some people will say, well, that's not necessarily true. I think absolute bullshit. we all want reciprocity, and
Yeah.
particularly when we give and receive gifts. We do want it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I've worked with couples who say, well, I don't want to say what I really think and feel about the gift giving process in my coupleship because my husband or my wife is going to think I'm being materialistic and greedy. You're not. So then what they end up doing is just accepting the same gift that, similar kind of genre of a gift, but they never say anything until we get into session and we're talking about, well, for years he's been buying me this, but I actually fucking hate it.
Yeah,
I'm like, well, why haven't you said anything? All this money has been wasted.
Yeah.
And the effort that this poor person took to get this for you. But the expectations have changed over time. I knew you were 19 and you loved this kind of stuff.
Right.
And I'm giving you similar things, but you haven't said anything. So let's have an open conversation.
Absolutely. Communication is so important because really it's just about, first of all, being a priority to somebody and feeling appreciated.
Yes.
And then 2, it's when you have that communication, it makes it easier to be able to build the intimacy and all the other things too, right?
Absolutely. It is the springboard for everything.
Yeah.
Open and honest communication. Now so the families, we can have some rules around families. And of course, families are complicated and fucked up. We all have dysfunctional family gatherings, as they call them at Christmas and at Thanksgiving, and we all tolerate and whatever. I'm not taking the pleasure out of it, but we all have some level of anxiety, and the gift giving around Christmas time only adds more to that, different to Thanksgiving. And I think, again, if we can have an open conversation as a family in terms of what our expectations are, it'll just make it easier on everyone. But, it's one of those things because it's related to money. People think it's always about the money. Then it makes it much more difficult to talk about. But, I think once you establish those rules of engagement, of giving and receiving, it's going to make it a lot more easier. Everybody can exhale.
Sure.
Nobody gets worried about, oh my God, somebody's going to be pissed off because I didn't spend enough or I didn't get enough. We can alleviate all of that in our family situation. Let's get to the kids because I have kids and you get kids. And I'm always hearing, people talking about that they give their kid every single thing on their list. Let me tell you something, people. Don't do that. What are you creating? A generation of entitled young adults who think that they will get everything in life. Absolutely not. Pick and choose. Less is more. Give them something to work for and hope for next year.
Yeah.
Do you do that with your kids?
Yeah. I definitely made the mistake when they were younger. I would want to give them everything.
I know.
But as they've gotten older, I feel like I've really started to understand a lot more about they just get a little bit, your list can have all this stuff on it.
Yeah.
But no. And sometimes even before Christmas, I'm like, you got to manage your expectations. Like, you are not going to be getting all. You're not getting all this stuff. And if it's something crazy, I'm like, no, I'm not buying you a computer when you already have a phone and an iPad and everything else. You don't even need stuff like that. Like, why are you even asking for it? So if you think any sort of whim that I have, oh, this would be great in this, no, you don't get to have everything. And what do you need? And I think what you were saying, something that you need, something that you want, something that you can wear, something to read.
Or an experience as a family.
Yeah, my daughter is kind of challenging to shop for.
How old is she?
She's going to be 12.
Okay.
And it's not that she doesn't enjoy things. Obviously, I get her the stuff that she needs, but she doesn't have the sort of I want thing about her, which is great. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, we loved going to Chicago when you were younger.
Yes, let's do that.
Let's do that. Yeah. We'll take a day. It's not even about going shopping. Let's just go kick it for a bit. We can take the train. It's fun. And she'd love that. I mean,
and then you're spending time with her. You're building a connection with her.
Yeah.
And with a 12-year-old, well, any age children, I think if you can get them locked in on a time and an activity, that's when they're going to talk to you. It's parents who say, well, my kids don't talk to me. They're not going to. They're not going to say, yes, let's have this conversation, mom and dad. But through an activity as a gift, in the form of a gift also at Christmas, through the activity, when you spend time together, kids start to open up. They start to share their thoughts. They start to share their feelings. And that's building emotional intimacy with your children. And that's a kind of relationship I've always tried to nurture with my kids.
Sure.
So you can give the gift of an experience, but look at everything else that comes back to you rather than, giving them another thing that they already have and they'll kind of put to the back of their closet. I am totally guilty when my kids were young, I gave them everything on my list because I never got anything on my list.
Sure.
So, let's be aware of that. I was, Billy and the Polar Express. My kids are going to die when they hear this. Is like mom stuff, feeling sorry for yourself. I overcompensated because I didn't get any of that stuff. My parents couldn't afford it. It was a totally different time.
Right.
And I was lucky to get one thing. So I thought, when I have kids, I'm not, I'm going to give them, I'm going to try to regulate myself. But at the beginning, I didn't because I thought, oh my God, this is so much fun to buy all these toys. And I had doll issues. If you read my book, guys, I have doll issues. So I think my daughter has like 6 or 7 American Girl dolls, which is absolutely ridiculous. I'm ashamed to say that. But then I thought, this is fucking ridiculous. She does not need all these dolls, nor does she want them. What am I trying to work on within myself? So I realized that we all make mistakes as parents. We're all fucked up in some way, but it's coming to the awareness, which I did over time. Then we started to do the experience with the dolls, taking them to Chicago, whatever. It's totally bougie and whatever, and I'm guilty of that.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying I overcompensated for things I didn't have in my own life.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking back now, I did start to get better as they age because I'm like, they're just like throwing the boxes and not even appreciating the gift that's in front of them. But that was my fault. It's not their fault, right? So I started to give less, and they didn't get everything on their list. And I realized that's my issue and not theirs, that if I kept doing this, they actually wouldn't appreciate anything they got because it was all about opening the boxes and getting everything on the list.
Right.
So we all do it. It's okay. I did it too, fucking that, but we can unfuck it by saying, wait a minute, this is not about them. This is about me and gift giving and what I didn't get as a child. But I can stop and start regulating that stuff because we don't want to create a generation. We're, kind of already doing that, of entitled kids who get everything and then they don't know how to not get any of that stuff. And that extends into a whole bunch of other social problems.
Yeah, because we have to not raise dicks, right? Like, that's our job.
You're right.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of like entitled, spoiled little brats. Mom and dad never said no, and they got everything from Santa.
Right.
That's not the world I grew up in, but it is kind of the world I started to create. Then I caught myself.
Yeah.
And I said, no, I don't want that. But I see that often. So guys, less is more when it comes to gift giving to your children. Let them look forward to next year or a birthday to get something. But we're so afraid, this generation is like almost afraid to deprive their children. They must have everything on their list. Absolutely not. I don't get everything on my list. And it kind of makes me feel good that I have something to look forward to. But again, even with children, it is about the experience, like you were talking about your daughter going to Chicago and the ripple effects of that. It's like me taking my daughter to, New York, or when I lived in New York, to this American Girl doll store. And then over that, we bonded. There was not about the doll anymore. It was about the experience and spending that whole day together to talk and bond. Because, as you know, you have kids. I have now young adult children. You can't just press that button and say, talk to me, tell me what's going on.
I mean, absolutely. And buying them a bunch of shit is not going to get them to do that.
Buying them is not.
Either.
They're become spoiled adult rats, right?
Yeah. You can't buy love with relationships, but you certainly can't do it with children.
And then you're teaching them, that this is the way to get love, and they'll continue that cycle with their partner, with their friends. Like they think they can give, if they do something like give an extravagant gift, then it should be okay. Or that they have to, when they're parents, that they have to, check off everything on that list. Yeah. So less is more. It's okay if you fucked it up, because I fucked it up too. But then I quickly unfucked it, and it's okay to make mistakes, but it's learning.
Yeah, I mean, how do you be a parent? Like, you didn't write a book on how to be a parent. No one did. So like, we all fuck up, and it's how you respond to all of that, and how you learn.
And it's okay to say no to your kids. It's okay that they don't get everything on their list. That's the excitement of the list, to say, hey, I wonder what Santa's going to bring me.
Don't you want to be surprised?
I
like,
do. I still do. I'm a big kid. I'm like 54.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be surprised. I want to see what Santa's going to bring me.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, and if it's coal, it's okay, because coal means diamonds.
Sure.
It means completely different things to a woman. Right?
That's awesome.
Oh, God, I sound like a spoiled bougie brat, but I'm really not.
No.
And, my pet peeve is cheap people. I think it's because of my own issues, and I recognize that, but that's my pet peeve. I cannot stand when people are cheap. So I'm not saying go break the fucking bank. Don't do that. But if you can do it for your partner and they really appreciate and like something, why not? It's once a year. It's not a big fucking deal. Well, All right, guys. So let's not get anxious about Christmas and gift giving. You need to have a conversation with the person you're exchanging gifts with. And you, by now, know who those people are going to be in your life. And with your significant other, put them on the list. Put yourself on the list. If you're one of those people that say, yeah, we're not on the list, put yourself on the fucking list. Unfuck that list by putting yourself on top, right, Ryan?
Absolutely.
On top of the list. And when you're thinking about giving a gift, think about a want, a need, a wear, meaning what do they like to wear? But don't buy for Ryan because he only wears Burberry and red bottoms. Something they like to read. And the last one, which I love, is the experience. Have an experience with your partner because that will have amazing ripple effects in your relationship. So hope you guys have a great holiday and unfuck gift giving. We will talk to you again next week. Bye, guys.
Unfuck Your Life and Relationships was recorded at High Five Studio in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, with sound engineer Diego Gonzalez Ramirez. Unfuck your life! Unfuck your life!